Good evening, Untold Odyssey.
Oh, and he cuts out.
And I cut out.
Yep. Good
Great.
start.
It's just par for the course. It's kind of the way things go, I guess. All right, tonight we actually have Static playing Meyer. I'm going to say that right this time, since I've been saying it wrong for the past day and a half. And then we actually have Barnburner playing the part of Sanzin. I did say that right? And it's pronounced Sanzin.
Correct.
Good. We are, in fact, actually playing their background story. They have decided that they are going to conjoin their background stories, and it just makes it easier on the DM, so I'm more than happy to accommodate. How you doing tonight, Static?
I am vibing.
Vibing. That makes one of us. I'm absolutely tired. I'm exhausted. What about you, Barnburner? How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
And then, as always, we have Dev over here doing my my sound checks and making sure that the stream doesn't come crashing down around me, so I can concentrate on DMing.
Yeah.
How you doing, Dev?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Ready to go.
All right. Well, without further ado, then actually, you guys got anything? Any news? Anything you guys want to talk about before we actually get started?
Oh, you needed to warn us way ahead of time if you wanted to talk about things.
Oh no, it's just if you got anything, let's talk about it. If you know, I happen to know that Static is going to be streaming tomorrow and on Friday. So if
My self-advertising, like right away, shit.
yeah, why not? Screw it. Hey, I'm making you guys show up at a specific time to sit and play some D&D on a stream. You can self-advertise all you.
Well, I stream on Twitch at Static Cling. I do primarily digital art, but also Friday we're doing a special Deadlands campaign. So if you're into more gritty stories for tabletop games, swing by.
Yeah, you get about a PG-13 out of this one. I don't think. I'm interested. I have not. I before you had mentioned it actually earlier this week. I'd never actually heard of Deadlands, so I'm fully planning on trying to tune in and watch that one. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see how it is. See how it goes. See if it's too gritty for me. You know, I got to keep things PG-13 in this house. As when you sign in, you have to, acknowledge that it's 18 and older in here because it's definitely not PG-13 in this house.
Oh, good. I can swear all I want. Let's go.
By all means, it doesn't bother me one little bit. All right. What about you, Barnburner? You got anything? Got anything fun?
Nope. I don't stream, but I will be GMing Static stream on Friday, and probably a couple other more times. I'll probably take like 3 or 4 sessions.
Very nice. Very nice. Dev, got anything?
I think I'm gonna be playing Call of Duty tomorrow night on my stream. Probably zombies, maybe even multiplayer. I don't know yet.
I'm on the fence. I may join you, but if you're playing zombies, it may. I've never been into the zombies thing.
It's a little more. I find it more fun than online because I don't have to rage quit all the time because I keep just dying.
There's words for that, right?
Have you tried getting good?
Get good, scrub.
I've tried. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah. As I get older and the base seems to keep getting younger and younger, I am no good any longer. So somewhere around the futuristic version of the last Call of Duty or last couple Call of Duties, I just I've kind of stepped away a little. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, we can kind of roll into Fight for Findara here. All right, I'm going to take that silence as a nope, got nothing. All right. So we're actually going to go ahead. the story's actually starting out for you two, actually at the Anali Orphanage, and you have a Meyer Enali. Let's fix that because not only did I get your name wrong, I got your.
Oh my god.
I am the
Whoa.
greatest DM ever. How dare you?
Bro, DM.
How dare you say that I'm not? Sorry. E in a I. Sorry. All right. There we go. We got it fixed. Didn't happen.
Tempted to change my own name just to match you guys.
All right. The Anali Orphanage, named after Meyer herself. It is actually kind of in the middle of nowhere due to the Lengthy Empire for approximately the past 20 years or so, actually having turned their back on any non-humans. Um, a lot of things happen. You know, you went from being peaceful and sharing and everybody coming together to a significant power change and a shunning of other races, as it were, has kind of, you know, not only of those races living in the Alinthi Empire now being shunned, parents getting, for lack of a better term, chased off or worse, killed, has kind of created quite a few orphans. However, your specific you tend to get a lot more either uh, halflings or half elves, maybe, or possibly. You tend to get more of that, mainly because there were certain parents who, you know, if the mother was human and decided that it just wasn't worth the trouble, they have started giving up their children, and it's terrible to see such things actually happen. However, that's kind of the day-to-day truth of the Alinthi Empire currently. But you are more than happy to take them in and care for them. Sanzin, actually being a halfling himself, has in fact kind of bolstered that trust, as it were. Because you guys are actually out in the middle of nowhere, the closest place for you to actually get supplies and whatnot is in Addersfield. Now, luckily, you do have friends in Addersfield who will actually bring you supplies, food, check in on you from time to time, and for lack of a better term, try to make sure no one actually comes to bother you. You are kind of off the beaten path, so it's very, very much needed. Now, the person that is continuously keeps bringing you is a disfigured man by last name, or he goes by Bo. The children at your orphanage have actually started affectionately calling him Old Man Bo. He's not as spry as he used to be. I'm a bit disfigured, but we're actually going to go ahead and come into the orphanage itself. Pull you guys over. So it is a rather nice summer day. Kids are kind of out playing a little bit, and you currently have 3 children living with you. The first of which is actually going to be Bo, B-O, as opposed to Old Man Bo, which is B-E-A-U. Bo is just a small child, or he's a 11-year-old boy, kind of plump in his ways. He is actually human, but he lost his family tragically when everything kind of went upside down. So you guys have actually been able to take him in. Your next one is actually going to be Mernalia. The kids have a little bit of trouble pronouncing Mernalia as they come in, so they've actually started calling her Murny. Murny is actually half tiefling, half human. This has become prevalent by the horns that have started to protrude from her forehead. Myrnie is actually the oldest of the children that you currently have there. She's about 14 years old. Very calm, very collected, has started to be a little more prim and a little more proper, which has gotten Bo's attention, but Bo has not gotten Myrnie's attention. And lastly, you have a 6-year-old half elf named Lily. He's very, very quiet, very, very shy. If anybody does happen to make it out to your orphanage, it's tends to hide behind you, Meyer. All right. Now, Meyer, if you would go ahead and describe yourself a bit, as it were.
So at this point, Meyer is about how tall did I make her? 1 second. She has long black hair that she keeps in a braid, usually off to one side. I don't even know where I have my information. Rather average height, rather average build for human. Blue eyes, piercing blue eyes, and overall doesn't really stand out at this point.
All right. And then there with you at the orphanage is also Sanzin. Sanzin, if you want to go ahead and describe what you actually look like, give us a little bit of information on you.
So Sandson's about 3 foot tall on a good day. Little small halfling. Weighs about 35 pounds. He's got kind of dark black hair with a little bit of graying in it. Looks kind of salt and peppered. He's not that old. He's only like 22, 23 at this point. But just kind of has that salt and pepper going on. Very humble looking, kind of farmer, worker clothes. Pretty simple. He's got brown eyes, and yeah, very light complexion, but it's covered in dirt and whatnot from the farm and stuff.
So being out in the middle of nowhere, you do have to do some of your own farming. Not a lot of travelers coming in to bring you new things. Old man Bo has actually brought a couple of pigs to you recently. Not only do they take care of scraps and other things, so you don't have a nice waste pile anywhere, but as the winter comes around, it's just a fact of life. Sometimes you may have to do some things that the children rather not see, as it were. So, but Bo brings you from time to time his cows that he's gotten, uh, pigs, geese, chickens. Right now, currently the only things that you guys currently have right now are 3 pigs, kind of off in the distance. From what we're looking at right now, they would be kind of behind and over to the right. And yeah, it's just kind of a beautiful summer day. Kids are sitting out sitting at the table, and just kind of enjoying their day. You can join them. You can go explore. We're kind of doing a little bit of theater of mind. If you want to explore or do what you would like to do, I will leave it to you.
Explore my own orphanage. Okay.
Well, you know what I mean.
So what time of day? Is it like early morning, afternoon?
So at this time, I'd probably say just before noon.
Okay.
It's right around lunchtime. I would say probably about 11 o'clock or so.
All right.
If we had a 24-hour clock.
Well, Sandson's probably coming back in from working out on the crops and whatnot, tending to everything if it's lunchtime.
All right. What would you be doing, Meyer, Anything fun?
I'm assuming there's not gonna be a whole lot of staff or anything for 3 orphans. So I'm
Yeah,
assuming
unfortunately, it's just gonna be you
probably
two.
putting shit together for lunch. Be a pretty little housewife, I guess.
As you hear Bo, Meyer, I'm hungry.
I'm working on it. Just be a few more minutes.
I'm gonna wither it away to nothing over here. as you kind of look out the window of the orphanage there, just in time to see Murray kind of flick Bo's ear. Just shush.
Well, Bo, if you're so hungry, you could be so inclined to go walk in and help Meyer out with lunch. Might go a little faster for you.
I can wait. I can wait.
Oh, you're not so hungry anymore, huh?
Oh, of course I'm hungry. I'm starving. Just and
Wasting away, huh?
as he kind of just looks down and twiddles his thumb.
Sandling walks up to him and kind of like ruffles his head a bit. Well, I'm gonna go ahead in and clean up. I'm sure lunch will be ready soon.
While you're as you go to turn right, go ahead and give me a perception check if you would, Sandon.
Absolutely.
First roll of the stream. Let's go.
I already wasted my
botch.
net. I already wasted my 20 on a practice
cool.
roll. So
Oh, okay.
I mean, you guys are still rolling hot. I'll take it. Dirty 20. All right, with that dirty 20, actually, you're gonna kind of you'll hear it before you actually start to see it. You hear some old time wagon wheels coming around the corner. Somebody's starting to come up the roadway there.
I'll pause for a minute and see if it's anybody that I recognize.
It is actually Old Man Bo coming up the road there.
I'll pause and kind of like wave and be like, "Hey, Bo, I'll be inside, but feel free to come on in whenever you get here."
I'll be right there. As he's still very slowly, he's got unfortunately he's not rich enough to afford horses out here, so he just has one lone donkey kind of pulling this cart, and you can kind of see a couple supplies in the back there. All right, so you're headed in while he's
Yep, headed in to clean up for lunch.
all right. Meyer, what are you doing?
Once I'm aware that he's there, I'll just call out. You can join us for lunch here in a little bit. I'm actually just prepping now.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, Meyer. That sounds wonderful. You always do have the best cooking. Now, do me a favor, actually, since
Okay.
we're talking about how good your cooking is. You can either do let's go ahead and do survival. Actually, let's test your cooking. let's see how good of a cook you actually are.
Subpar.
Yeah, you're not the greatest cook by any means, but you definitely you've got one or two tricks up your sleeve. It's nothing to write home about, but it's edible.
It's okay. They don't have homes.
Wow.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Too
I had to
soon.
do it.
All right. So you're actually you're gonna hear the kids kind of chatting with Old Man Bo out there. Just I got some new toys for you kids. As he pulls out this what could only be described as a homemade straw doll. Lily, on the other hand, is hiding behind Murney. Not still just a little bit shy of Old Man Bo out there. Now, Marty. Or sorry. Now, Lily. It'll be all right. You can take it. Mm. So Bo's actually gonna kind of creep along here a little bit. Kind of lays out a couple toys on the table. Still giving Lily a little bit of distance, letting her decide to come to him versus trying to force it the other way around. And he's gonna start to make his way inside the. He's gonna start making his way inside the orphanage to come and greet you. You know, he's walking with a bit of a limp. You know, he's not a fast man. And Meyer, it's great to see you. Great to see you. How's things going out here? Everything all right?
As all right as it has been before. It's been pretty quiet, which is nice.
Well, that's all we can hope for. I unfortunately bring a bit of news, and I'll wait for Sanson to come out before we have this. But if we can have a little chat once the kids start, once the kids get their lunch. I think we have a couple things to talk about.
She's gonna look a little concerned, but nod and continue.
So Bo's actually he's gonna find any to start to rest his weary bones. He's gonna come sit down and kind of play with his cane a little bit, kind of waiting on you guys to wrap up doing what you're doing.
After a few minutes, Sanson comes out a little bit more cleaned up, different clothes. So what's on the agenda today, old man?
Well, someone already told me that you may need some fresh fruit and some spices out here. I know you guys don't get much. Kids need a balanced diet. Don't want them to look like me when they get older.
That's always right. That's always right.
As he starts to rub his eye that has a rather large scar sitting over it. It's a dangerous world out here nowadays. Hey, why don't we go check on those pigs you got out back? How are they doing? We can have a little chat. Or if you don't mind, once you feed those kids, you may want to may come join us.
Yeah, I'll just take these out to him.
Sanson nods his head. Oh, the pigs aren't doing too bad. One got sick a couple weeks back, but it's doing a lot better now.
It's good. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. I got a couple of chickens that I'm trying to get old man Richard to part with. Maybe I can bring him out here.
Oh, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I like some people just need a little helping hand every now and then, but you guys seem to make do, and frankly, when you guys' crop comes in, I always make my money back, so everything works out pretty well for me.
It's a very good trade. You're a very kind man.
So little piece of lore out here, actually. So the land that you're currently actually on was originally Old Man Bo's farmland that he was doing absolutely nothing with. So they know farming's coming out here, but as far as they're concerned, Old Man Bo's actually the one out here doing it all himself. So he gets to take the credit in town while you guys get to do the hard work. But in exchange, no one knows you guys are out here, so there's none of the Alinthi Empire out here looking to make trouble for you guys either. So it's mutually beneficial, as it were.
Excellent.
All right, so with that, if if you're not doing anything else, Sanson, Bo's actually gonna start walking his way out to the pig stable or pig staples out there.
Yep, I'll follow him out there.
So, well, Myra, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
Okay, dokie.
Walking out there with
I
the
know
kids and
my
whatnot.
alphabet. There it is.
Well, with a 5, you know that they're playing with toys, but for the live of you, you can't really tell what they're supposed to be. You know that one's a rather hastily straw doll with a little bit of twine, a little bit of torn cloth, but that's about it.
They
And
seem satisfied. I will bring plates out to them and
Bo is, you see his face light up. Oh my God, there's. Oh. What are we having today, Meyer?
just sandwiches for lunch today.
Oh, that's delicious. It's a good day for a picnic. Good day for a picnic. He is all kinds of excited you're bringing him food. Murney, on the other hand, just kind of looks at Bo, just shakes her head a little, and pats Lily on the head a little. You know, I'm glad you take after me, Lily. We can. It's not good for a lady to be excited about food as it comes out.
Ladies can be excited about whatever they want.
Gives gives Bo a little mean mug. little little childish rivalry. Bo seems more interested in the food than dealing with dealing with Murdy at this point. Swapping back over to Sanson. Bo, old man Bo, walking near to you, kind of lowers his voice, gets close to you as you guys start to get to the pen. There's a few disappearances nowadays out in Outersfield. Nobody really knows what's. No one really knows what's going on.
Well, that's not good to hear.
I know I'm early, but I just felt the need to come check on you guys, make sure everything. You haven't heard anything out here lately, have you?
No, as Meyer said, it's been pretty quiet out these ways. It's been nice.
That's good. That's good. Don't really know what's going on. I just maybe keep an eye out. That's all I'm saying. Keep the kids safe. Don't want anything to happen to them.
I very much appreciate the heads up.
Meyer, are you coming to join old man Bo over there?
Yep, once the kids are settled.
As you start to approach over with them, you'll get you get kind of the nod and the look. I was just telling Sanson over here that there's been a few disappearances out in Attersfield. People coming up missing, and doesn't really seem to ever be a trace of them.
Any certain kind of people?
Not anything in particular. Seems to, rich, poor, young, old, doesn't really seem to matter. One day their family just happens to wake up and they're gone. No struggle, no anything, just gone. Wanted to make sure that that you guys were all right.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything strange out this way.
Yeah, just prepare yourselves if you hear anything, just be on your guard. That's all I'm saying. Well, with that, did I see sandwiches over there? As he kind of he realizes he's got kind of a glum conversation going on. He's just all right. Moving on.
Just plate of sandwiches out by the kids.
I see Lily is Still a little shy around newcomers. Doesn't matter how many times I come over here, she never seems to want to play with me.
That's just how some folks are.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. One day she'll warm up to me. I promise. I'll keep bringing her presents until she does. One day I'll get a smile out of her. All right. He's gonna kind of grasp his hands together with a little clap. All right, let's get them fine sandwiches. And with that, we'll kind of fade to black a little, right? And you get the little montage of Bo playing with Bo, and Murney, having Lily kind of right up next to her or right on top of you, Meyer. Sanson, you're kind of the odd man out. I'm not gonna lie. At this point, they've the kids got new presents from Bo, and you're there more often than they are.
That's fine by me. The Saints will kind of just be resting, watching everybody.
Hard day's work doing all the farming. It doesn't
That's
come easy.
right, especially when you're so small.
All right. Well, we found out how good of a cook Meyer is. Let's see how good of a farmer you are. Let's what are we thinking here? What kind of checks should farming be?
Not every meal can be a banger, man.
Not every meal can be a banger. Not every meal can be a banger. Well, I'll allow you, considering half the job is animal handling. Let's have an animal handling check out of you to see how well you handle the pigs, and then a nature check as well to see how well you handle the actual farm.
Excellent. These are going to be terrible.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
It just says no. It just says no.
No. All right.
I didn't know your dice said no on that one.
Oh, Jesus. That's hilarious.
I am the best farmer, obviously.
You're the greatest farmer ever, as long as no one's watching. I did not expect that one. All right. Well, the crop this year isn't going to be that great. I'm not going to. It's great. It's hilarious. I love it. All right. Well, that'll come in handy later. I just with backstory ones, I just kind of wanted to see what if you guys excel at any specific thing while we're actually doing it. Maybe advantage later. All right. Farmer, you are not. Nat one. I love it. All right. Well, so as day starts to kind of turn to night, actually, go ahead and move on over. Old man Bo is left. The rain has actually started to pick up, and it's not exactly a glum night, but it's summer rain. The wind's kind of blowing. Yeah, just out in the middle of nowhere. Some rain. So what's your guys' nightly routine kind of consist of? I'll let you guys kind of make that one up on the fly.
Is it later in the night?
I mean, it's I would say it's probably about dusk, right as the sun has started to go down.
Okay.
It's just over the horizon, as it were.
Marnie, Lily, Bo, you guys got about another hour before we gotta put you down for bed. So have fun playing with your toys.
Yes, sir. Sir. Bo's playing with a little spinny top. Nothing too fancy. Something that probably got whittled out of a stump or something to that effect. That's about. He's playing with that. You know, they're playing a game with some dice, a couple figurines. Yeah, as Bo is playing with his top.
Sans is probably sitting near the little stove, like wood stove that they have, putting wood in there, warming it up, sitting next to it, reading a book, smoking his pipe.
Myra, what are you doing in at night here at the orphanage?
Probably continuing to be housewife bitch. You know, picking up, potentially washing clothes, washing dishes, whatever that may be.
Taking care of the day-to-day chores, as it were.
Yeah, you can tell how enthused I am about it out of character, but.
Hey, you could have told me anything. The kids are perfectly capable of doing some of these chores now.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna clean up after themselves. That's gonna be a thing, but.
And it builds characters for builds character, responsibility, turns them into adults, as it were, or young men and women. All right. Well, why don't you guys go ahead and give me a perception check while you guys are out there. All right, 8 and 8. Well, it's you guys are kind of consumed in your work, as it were. Not a big thing going on, not a small thing going on. Just well, life as it goes. It's just another summer night, and a little bit of summer rain. Doing great for those crops, Sanson. Just saying.
It's to make up for how good of a farmer I am.
May have forgotten to water your field, so
You got busy getting tangled up with the pigs earlier. It's fine.
The pigs are loving it right now. You've got an open stable. The pigs are out playing in the mud. They're loving it. This is their kind of night. It's not just dirt on the ground anymore. Now it's mud. It's a good time. Good time. All right. Well, we can kind of move on a little bit. What?
Someday we'll actually be able to perceive something you want us to roll for.
It's all right. It's all right. It is what it is. What you do know, as the night has actually started to progress, there's a kind of an uncanny fog that is almost rolled in, and it's gotten pretty hard to see out of the windows at this point. One more time. Let's see them perception checks.
You really want us to see something?
Oh, it was almost a 20. I saw it.
Well, I will take the 10, Sanson, not to see anything. However, from where you're at, you hear a couple of the pigs start to make a couple of noise, and what really perks you up at this point is one of the pigs actually starts squealing like it's in pain.
It's probably them damn wild animals again. I'll be right back, Meyer. I'm gonna go check on the pigs.
Okay.
All right.
You see him kind of like get his heavier cloak on, pull the hood up. He grabs a small knife from like the counter and just has it on his side. And makes his way out into the foggy, rainy, dark night.
Now, Sanson, unfortunately, you don't. It's kind of hard to see. Not just a mixture of the fog itself, but the sun itself has actually gone down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can kind of where you're headed. But as you kind of walk out, we're gonna go ahead and do this one here. So the over here on your right hand side, okay. I'm not sure how much you guys can actually see. You can't see anything. You should be able to click on either Meyer or Sanson to be able to see kind of what they see. All right, let me fix that for you real quick, Dev. Just, how's that work for you?
Still don't see anybody's tokens.
Second.
There we go.
Better?
Yep.
Sorry, technical glitch. Actually, before I actually forget about that one, I'm going to make you an observer for. So do that. There you go. So with that actually being said, so the it's a right that you can. The light's still on, Sanson. You can kind of see the table where it was. It's giving off some things, but out in the darkness, it's just that. It's darkness. So at this point, I'm gonna have you kind of light yourself up you can stumble into the darkness, or you can take the lamp with you. Not necessarily the one off the table. We'll just say that there's actually, this isn't the first time that this has actually happened. You're prepared, right?
Right.
You're prepared. So, are you gonna go ahead and take that with you? You want to stay in the darkness? It's up to you.
I will take the lantern with me.
You will take the lantern with you. All right. So, as discussed earlier, due to the whatever it is with yours, I don't understand it, but whatever it is with yours, yeah. There you go. Now, as you move around, that should stay with you. Go ahead and give me that perception check right as you come right around, right about where your perception check is. You're glaring out over to the pig pen here.
Sounds good.
All right. Even with that 14, you can't quite make out the shape, but even in the fog that you're seeing, it's almost condensed around this pig. The first pig that you come up on, it's condensed around, but you can swear with that 14, you can swear that there's red coming out of the pig's mouth at this point, out of its eyes, out of any orifice that it can actually see, and it's almost evaporating into this fog.
What in the bloody hell? And I'm gonna move closer.
As you move closer, I'm actually going to pause you right there. As you actually move closer, you can see it clear as day. That pig, not moving anymore. Something is on top of it. It's corporeal in nature. Okay, it's definite fog. Okay, and what we're actually going to do at this point is I'm going to have you guys. Now, this is not necessarily combat, right? But for RP reasons, as things are all kind of happening in one go, I am going to actually put you guys into a turn order.
Sounds good.
And I will ask that you roll for initiative. Not, like I said, not necessarily for combat, just for...
Where was that 20?
Now he rolls that nat 20. Now he rolls that nat 20. All right. And so actually with that nat 20, I will allow you to either make moves first for now, or I will actually, because nothing has actually set up, what I actually would like for you guys to do, or what I would actually like for you to do, is kind of think what you could do in 2 turns, one right after the next. So I'm gonna actually give you an extra turn for that nat 20 there. This thing hasn't really. I mean, it's right on top. Like I said, there's blood coming out of it, and it's just blood coming out of the pig. There's two other pigs that don't seem to, there's nowhere for them to go at this point. They're closed in. You do have a gate right about here. Okay. You do have a gate there to let the pigs out if you so choose. But other than that, the pigs are definitely frightened. But there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, I'll definitely move over to the gate to kind of like try to get the other pigs out and see what the hell this thing is on the other pig.
Let me go ahead and unpause that for you. You can go ahead and do that.
All right.
That's about 15 feet worth of movement there. For interaction, I actually, for this particular interaction, if you want to open up that gate, that will be your action.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. All right. And then we'll just say that kind of takes up your first turn there, and then we're gonna leave you right where you're at right now.
All right, sounds
And
good.
you can take your sorry, I misspoke. You can take your second turn right about here. You've opened up the gate. I will say that the pigs have started to shuffle towards you, as it were. And give me another perception check. Actually, I'm gonna see if you can catch this.
Nope.
We're never gonna see anything, dude.
Whew,
Honestly,
all right.
just do it, Kelly.
just
gotta stop
no
making us roll.
perception check. Just no perception check. Got it.
As long as at least it wasn't
All
in
right.
that one.
At least it wasn't that one. All right. You don't really catch anything specifically while these pigs are actually making their way back out, but you can go ahead and either you can go ahead and continue doing on with what you're doing, and we'll go from there.
All right. At that point, I'll probably take out the knife that I have and like kind of be holding the lantern up towards this thing and take a step into the pen and just kind of like shout at it and be like, "Go on and get the hell out of here, whatever the hell you are."
All right. You get no audible response. There's no audible response. But you do notice that the blood has stopped trickling out of the pig. The pig itself, for lack of better descriptive terms, emaciated, has been drained. Now, you know for a fact that these pigs were pretty healthy, right, earlier today. So seeing a pig, lacking in color, looking grayish, completely emaciated, it's a bit of a shock.
I think Sans is just kind of like standing there in awe because he doesn't quite know like what the hell is going on.
You gonna go ahead and stay there?
He's gonna regrettably take another like step forward, kind of like trying to be menacing.
As you do, you start to feel a tingling on your arm. That's holding up that lantern there. And this mist starts to move towards you. And now that you've actually been closer, and what you didn't see earlier, is it's not the only denser fog that has started to roll in back behind the other pigs as they decided to start moseying. They too, unfortunately, have a mist set upon them. And you start to see blood rise out of there. That's going to be it for them. Meyer?
I have no idea that anything's going on.
You've heard some noises. You can give me a perception.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we can see what you got. He did just scream at this thing. You wouldn't have been able to hear exactly what he was, but with the 10, I will say he's not that far. You know, he was telling something to get out, right? Get out of here. Unfortunately you weren't able to hear exactly what he was saying, but you could hear him kind of pipe up a little. Now,
in reality, that's not probably out of the ordinary. You know, Fox is getting chickens or shit like that. Like, but I'll go to the window. Is there a window over here?
there is in fact a window out there. So headed back just to kind of give you the layout here. I went back. Sorry, that was me. There would be this window right here that you could
Yeah,
actually
so
see.
I'll go peek out that window and see what's going on.
So that you do know, you do have this door here, and it is actually on the map. This is the one that he came out of. You do also have a door in the back as well.
Okay.
So you do have 2 exits. Okay. All right. So as you peering out this window, I mean, you see general shapes, right? You see what you would tell would be Sanson holding up the lantern. Yeah, thank you. You see the lantern, right? But from what you can see, you just see fog.
So I guess for right now, holding turn, just because she doesn't really have a huge concern yet, so. But she'll keep an eye out.
Give me just a second. All right.
Oh, he's measuring something. That's terrifying. All right, carry on.
I'm not measuring anything. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. For the start of the round again. Okay. Sanson, we're coming back to you, but before we do, Mira, you actually start to hear kind of I don't know the best way to put it. It's not quite a scratching, but almost like something rubbing up against the side of the house, farthest from the front door. So we're saying over next to the small crop that he's got here, right? You start to hear a little bit of rubbing. Not quite a scratch, but not quite a rub either. It's kind of a weird, almost like light, just dragging sound.
Weird. Okay.
Sanson, I want a dex saving throw from you right off the bat.
Let's go.
All right. You guys ready for this nat 1? Let's go.
Well, we've seen a no, and we've seen a nat 20.
All right. She said dex saving throw?
Dex saving throw, please. As this mist is descending upon you.
Oh, not bad.
19. All right. You actually feel your arm. So the arm that was having that tingly feeling, right? You actually feel almost like the inside is expanding out, right? Almost like your blood is trying to pull out of your own body. With a 19, you are able to pull it back, and that's where you're going to start your turn.
Alrighty. That's weird. I'm going to try and move away from this thing right now.
You're finding yourself further into the pin.
No, I'm aware. Just trying to get some distance.
All right.
So for metagame reasons, are you going to yell?
I was trying to give him a chance.
No, that's what I was getting to next. Sanson's just gonna kind of yell out towards the house. Meyer, I don't know what the hell's out here, but keep the doors shut and keep the kids safe. Get with them. I'll be in a minute.
Before Meyer can actually even register what's just been said, you're gonna hear 7-year-old Lily, or 6-year-old Lily, I think I said right, 6-year-old Lily, let out just a high pitched scream.
Well,
She's staring at the back door. And while normally the door you've been able to close, right? Normally the fog stays out of the house. But it's a mixture of fog and what almost looks like smoke has started to come up and around the bottom of the door. It's not much at first, but you start to see it. Sanjin, we'll go ahead and continue on with your turn if you want to do anything else.
I
Kids.
would like to attempt to jump over this fence.
All right. That will be for you. That'll be an acrobatics check.
All right, here, let's go. Not great.
All right. I will say you have made it over this fence, but you didn't really do so gracefully. Your foot gets caught and you just face plant. You are now currently prone.
But on the opposite side of the fence.
On
Excellent.
the opposite side of the fence.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Yeah, partial successes. All right.
Partial successes are still. Take the little successes when you can. All right. Is that it for you, Sanson?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. They're not fast. It's still. It's not quite on top of you, but it's there. It's following you. Now, with it being so close to you at this point, it's formless. There is a definite change in density, right, between the fog and what's here. Right? But it seems to be able to track you in some way, somehow.
Excellent. Oh, I was also going to ask you, since I tripped and fell, do you want my lantern that I'm carrying to break?
No. Well, the way that it is, it's relatively hardy. Leave it as a hardiness. But we will move over to Meyer as you kind of realize that you are now on the ground with a mist thing kind of hovering over you.
So is Lily by the door?
Lily is actually still standing where she's at, but she is pointing and freaking out about this back door as what she thinks is smoke coming through the door.
So I'm just going to, kind of in a panic, just try to get the kids away from the doors and windows. I'll scoop up Lily if I have to, if she's freaking out too bad.
She's not quite freaking out, but it's close. What I will say is, as soon as you call out to the kids, they have no problem coming to you. There is zero issue with that. In fact, Lily is now like attached to your leg.
That is fair. Is there anything weapon-wise that I can use? It's fog. I can't exactly fight it, but we don't exactly have that kind of mentality at this point. Probably kitchen knives is the closest I've got.
You could probably grab a kitchen knife if you wanted to grab a kitchen knife.
Yeah, we'll grab a kitchen knife to fight fog.
Say it's probably pretty.
That's logical.
At this point, you unfortunately don't really know what's. You can give me an arcane check if you really want to.
I
but
doubt
I would say,
my arcane would be as high at this point in our life than it would be on my character sheet, so.
I would say just roll a d20. Just a straight d20.
20. Roll.
All right. True to form, you can't tell if it's smoke, if it's fog. Something is coming through the door slowly, but you don't smell anything, so it may not be smoke, but something's starting to come up underneath that door.
Okay. She's just gonna call out to Sanson. Sanson, what's going on out there? And then
I do allow if the initiating, because we're still getting a feel for each other. I do allow for conversations to go back as long as the person whose turn it is has initiated it. So she's initiating it, so you are allowed to talk back and forth up on this turn.
I don't know what the hell it is. A bunch of damn smoke, drinking blood. It's very strange. Get the kids.
All right, Meyer, what are you doing? It's still technically your turn. I would just say that calling out to the kids was a relatively free action. Picking up some kind of weapon is a bonus action for me. So if you guys ever drop your weapon in the future, if you're standing over it, I only count it as a bonus action to pick it up off the ground.
okay, so I only heard noise from like this side.
That is originally where you heard noise from.
So maybe shuffle the whole crew as I can towards the door on the left side.
And you can go ahead and open that. I would count that as a free action.
Okay.
And you can open it. Actually, it's clickable for you. The kids are definitely following you. So you know what I made? If you want to keep them close the way that they are, give me 1 second here.
Locking my character for a little bit.
I'm just trying to think. I thought I could give you ownership. I cannot. But we'll just say that the kids are with you. Wherever you move, I'll move.
Do we want to go outside? Yeah, there's smoke and shit coming inside, so I guess we're just gonna try to go to like down.
As you step out of that door, give me another perception check.
Oh, good. So I can not see shit again. Perception.
The panicness, Murray, Lily at your side, screaming whole 9 yards, Bo, trying to be the tough boy, as it were, but failing miserably. Everybody's freaking out. Unfortunately, you do not see anything as you step out of the door.
Okay, we're gonna keep going this way, away from the screaming and weird fog.
All right.
Yeah, that's probably about it. I don't have much of an action to take.
All right. I'll tell you what. Murney is probably the only one who is relatively, other than you, who relatively has a...
You're cutting out. Wait a second.
Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yep, you're good now.
Okay. Murney is probably the only other one some kind of fancy about her, right? She's going to kind of tug on your arm a little. Got the light. But she is also going to take a look around. Unfortunately, she does not see. And actually, I'm going to set these back to public, just so that you can see. She did get... Oh. Yeah, there you go. So, Murney did not see very well either.
This is fine.
All right.
We all need glasses. We all need glasses. That's so.
Sanson.
Against my better judgment.
Well, hold on. Before you do this, you are prone. This thing is literally on top of you. I need a dex saving throw at disadvantage.
Excellent.
F.
What's the worst that could happen? Alright, deck saving throw.
All right, with that 12, let me check this real fast. Give me 1 second. A 12 is actually going to fail.
Perfect.
You feel your lungs start to fill with this mist. As it starts to invade your body, at first it's a sharp pain, and then almost a burning sensation. As out of your mouth, you will start to see blood coming out and evaporating into this formless figure. You still have some faculties about you, but that mist is now inside of you. And I'll go ahead and give you that turn. You have a little bit of time left, but it's now inside of you, literally draining you from the inside out.
Fantastic. Do I see any of the other like kind of mist forms heading after Meyer and the kids?
You can give me a perception check as well.
Oh boy, let's go. Perception. Nope.
You keep hoping that we're gonna have better luck. Overestimate us.
The answer may surprise you.
Oh Jesus!
So now you know why my last DM literally made my cleric's god go missing.
Oh, I love it! I love it! I love it! This is great. You do not see anything but mist.
Okay.
At this point.
I'm going.
I mean, you can see kind of around, but you don't see any particular denser area than any.
Right. I'm just gonna look towards the house and just scream, "Take the kids and run!" And I'm gonna start heading this direction.
Me, I'm a distraction. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
All
whoop.
right. Remember that prone takes half your movement, right? For that first 6 seconds. So.
Yep, you good. So I'm like there.
No, you're fine. Where you move to. So each block is 5 feet, right?
5.
So
Okay.
I think your normal person's walking speed is 30, so you'd have 15 feet. So where you moved is just fine.
All right, cool. And that's me.
All right. One more time again, as things are happening. Meyer, you can give me a perception check to see what you can or can't see.
Hey, above a 10.
15. That's what was needed. We got it. DC was 15. You got it. All right. What you do actually see is, unfortunately, because you do not have a light, only in the light are these really being seen. You do, in fact, actually see 2 to your south, very quickly moving up towards you. So they have not actually moved on their turn. I wanted to see if you were going to be able to see it, but they are starting to actually move towards you. And those were actually in the light, so yeah. All right, your turn.
Is this a fence like in the way?
The fence is probably 3 feet tall. You know,
So this
stands
like unfolding children.
yes, it's a bit in the way. Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to find like the best exit for children to start
Sanson
running.
built the fence to the you know, to the highest ability that he could. You know.
Ladders don't exist. Basically, I want to get the kids onto the main road and tell them to just run, like.
So the if can take you back here so
Ooh.
that you can get a better view.
Oh,
I'm moving you. I'm sorry.
I know, it's just startling every time.
So there is a walkway. It's kind of hidden underneath that tree.
Oh,
There
okay,
is a
yeah.
walkway pretty much right where you're at. So if you wanted to cut back down that way, like towards where they were coming from, that wasn't going to be possible. But there is like an area for you to get through if you continue to do that, or they can continue along the house right there, and you can kind of run around the house if you so choose.
Yeah, the fog isn't that fast moving. You were saying?
It doesn't seem like it's fast moving. Unfortunately for you, as far as what Meyer would have seen or what she would have known, it moved closer to you, but it wasn't like zooming.
Okay.
So you only got to see the little bit of movement you saw at the beginning of the turn.
So yeah, the plan is still just to get the kids and get them down the road this way. Just running. I may pawn Lily off to Murney if she's being very attached, just
So
to make sure
Lily
I'm,
is
like,
super
behind them.
attached. Bo is going to, agree without really much of a second thought. Murney will try to take Lily away. Lily's just no, I don't want to go. No, and she's held on to you. Roll me a persuasion check.
You're just wanting to watch the world burn. Oh, I got decent pluses in this. Okay, let's see.
I had to figure out a way for you guys. Oh,
fuck's sake. Okay,
right.
I've got a child attached to my leg.
You do have a child attached to your leg. Murney is going to try to pry a little bit. And
if it's gonna take too long, honestly, Meyer's just gonna run with a child attached.
We're gonna see what we got here. Do a strength.
We're just gonna run.
Murney is not able to pry Lily off.
We're just gonna probably not full pace run with a child attached.
All right. Are you going with the children, or are you?
Yes, for now.
You are in fact going with the children. All right.
I kind of have to. I have one attached to me.
I understand. I'm going to take a third of your movement as making it kind of difficult for you to run.
Yep.
They will be, or Bo and Murney will be able to run at 30.
Okay.
You will unfortunately only be able to move about 20. And you can move wherever you want and all the children in that direction.
Oh, I have like fog of war past this point.
Yes. That was the light thing that we were talking about earlier. It is very difficult for you to be able to see, unfortunately.
I'm assuming I'm somewhat familiar with this road, and I'm
I would love to.
right
so
road past this point.
The road follows just this way.
Yeah,
so
if it's just a straight shot, we're just gonna run into the fog of war and see literally
that's
nothing.
where you're about at. So she is going to be right about there. The children themselves right about there as they're running. All right. Before we make your way back to you, Stanzen.
Yup.
You're gonna hear Bo scream out in pain. As Bo has suddenly stopped.
Oh.
Right next to Murney.
Well.
Meyer.
Yep.
Give me a dex saving throw.
Yep. Saving throws. There they are. Normal roll. Oh, hey.
You are able, and I'm gonna back both of you up. Come on, you can do this. It's possible. Come on now. I don't know why it won't let me do it now. I'm gonna back you up about 5 feet. As you felt just the same tinge that Sanson felt, you felt it actually start to pull out, or your arm in your left leg, as she's on your right leg, your left leg start to swell a little bit and start to tingle. You pull back a little bit and it instantly stops. Sanjin, we're back towards you. You're starting to feel a little. You're starting to feel a little weak. You've heard Bo start to make some noises at this point. As he is at this point, you've kind of connected the dots. Something has gotten to at least one of the.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna take like a full action to dash. 1, 2, 3.
Are they gonna go right about there?
Yep.
All right. Right. And yep. They're just out of your sight a little bit. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you have made your way back all the way across.
Here goes nothing.
All right. If you guys just give me one quick second here, I do apologize. I need just 1 second. Sorry about this, guys.
Until you have things in your real life going on.
All right. All right. Yeah, you can probably hear the babies in the background. For those of you who do not know, proud papa of twin girls. They were about a year old. So it's
Don't they know we're playing D&D? Come on, man.
You may hear babies in the background every now. Not much I can do about it, but yeah. Luckily, my wife is
Anyway,
doesn't have anything. Anyways, all right, moving on. All right, Sanson, you gave me the perception check 9. With that 9, you can unfortunately see just about what you would expect to see. You guys are aware that there are two denser fogs directly to your left there.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Bo is still in the darkness, so you're unable to see her or see him or Murney. But you can make out Meyer and Lily. Lily is grabbing a hold of her as tight as possible. You know, she only makes it up to about the, mid thigh, but All right. Other than that, what would you like to do, Sanson? Anything?
There's not particularly much I can do.
All right.
Just kind of gonna be scoping out where I heard the noises coming from.
All right. Meyer, give me a perception check with advantage as he's standing in full light and holding a lantern.
I'm glad you gave me advantage.
With an 18. That fog is now in between you and Murney. Bo, you can just start to make it out from the remnants of Sandson's lantern. Bo is on his tippy toes, being almost pulled up, arms back, blood starting to flow out. Murney, standing right next to him, is freaking out. Lily has grasped a hold of you, and Sanson, has just dropped his lantern, and Sanson is going to actually drop to his knees as you do see more blood flowing out of him. What would you like to do?
I have no idea.
I'll tell you what, roll me a straight d20. As this is actually, because I know we've got some different numbers on your character sheet. This is actually your wisdom your wisdom. You start to feel something push into your mind a little bit. At first, it's just kind of a general thrum. It's up to you on whether or not you want to let it in or not.
On a 3, I probably have no idea what it is.
No. It's not about what that one.
Oh, that was
For
something
me,
else?
that was your
Okay.
save throw on whether or not you could block it out.
Oh, okay.
So it's not blocked out, but I'm gonna let you decide whether or not you want to hear it out or try to fight it.
Considering I have no idea what it is, and I'm assuming it's the fog, or Meyer's gonna assume it's the fog, probably fight it, but...
All right. So you're not quite listening, and it's just you do have the general thrum. Is there anything else you would actually like to do?
I don't know what else I can do.
You're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah.
You're in a very tough spot.
We're just gonna try to pull Lily with me away from any dense fog I see.
You have 20 feet of movement. I am actually, let me see here. I'm going to give me odds or evens.
Odds.
Odds.
Nope.
All right. This one was actually for Murney. You are able to see Murney has took off running. She's running away from you. If we had hit odds, it would have been running back towards you, but has taken off away from you.
That's fair. That's probably for the best. So I see this guy, Bo is getting messed up somewhere that I can't see. We're gonna follow Murney, I guess?
And try to follow Murney?
Sure. Why not?
I'm gonna need a dex saving throw before you do that.
That's fair.
As you were coming
Normal.
right where you're to follow Murney, you're going right
Jesus Christ.
there. All right. You're gonna feel your lungs fill with this mist. Same as Sanjin. You're gonna feel that burning sensation in your lungs. Lily's gripping tighter and tighter around your leg. I'll let you move that 20 feet and give me your last perception check.
Which way did she run?
She ran out this way, like basically towards Bo. So 5, 10. As you hit that, as right where you're at, you actually will trip over Bo.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
that way. Bo is actually right there. All right. As far as Sanson goes, Sanson, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty.
I can't get you to roll anything for perception. Anything else, you guys are hot.
Oh no, we couldn't cook her farm.
Oh Jesus! Oh, and that one's on a farming background. Oh Jesus! Okay, Sanson, You're technically still alive, but you're cold. You're super cold. It's just you're down on your knees at this point. Yeah, it only makes you about a half a foot shorter, but you're down on your knees. You're starting to feel cold, starting to feel tired, but you're still alive. Is there anything you would like to do? The thoughts start to cross your mind a little bit. These may be your final moments on this earth.
I feel like scenes in because I'm essentially prone right now. Yeah.
I'm not going to take it as prone outright,
Okay.
but just for story factor, we'll call you on your knees. But if you want to move 30 feet, you still have the ability to move 30. Or 60 if you want to dash.
I will say that he's essentially just kind of like hobbling and crawling to the best of his ability to get closer.
Crawling on along. You do glimpse, with the light being there, you do glimpse Myers trying to run with Lily. Unfortunately, she is tripped over Bo, who is now laying prone on the ground. Disturbingly enough, with the same emaciated and grayish color of the pig from earlier. You don't see, unfortunately, you do not see Murney anywhere. You're hoping that she got away.
Okay. Sanson will try to scream out to Meyer, but with all like the blood and stuff being drank out of him, essentially, just kind of like a garbled, unaudible mess.
All right. Meyer, give me a perception check. Let's see if you can hear him.
Maybe.
I would say with the 13 you could hear
Yay! I saw or heard something.
him. I would say with the 13 you could hear him. What do you want to say, Sanson?
Hmm. I think he'll probably just kind of utter out. The only thing that you really hear is, "I'm sorry."
All right, that's going to end your turn. Meyer, give me another d20. This is, again, it's going to be basically your save throw. This one it's much harder to not think, right? To not focus on it. It's much louder. It's much clearer at this point. Go ahead and give me that d20. Do we got a d20? Did I lose you guys?
Hmm?
Give me a d20.
Both of us or just him?
Just you.
Just
Meyer.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
just you.
Alright.
17. 17's gonna do it, but you have the option to hear it, to at least hear it.
Sure, we'll hear things.
The two words that you make out is save them. Do you want to hear any more?
Sure.
All right. The moment you've kind of let it bring you in, the world starts to fade from what you had been able to see previously. And you find yourself in a very odd place. You try to look down for Lily. You don't see anything. You don't even see your own feet. There's just nothing. Your consciousness has been pulled out into another area, as it were. and you see a very, very large man, bearded man with hair running back down, spear made out of just the brightest light you've ever seen. Go ahead and give me another D. You can actually roll this one on yours. Give me another religion check.
That worse.
14. Why am I not seeing that on my end? I don't know why I didn't see that.
I don't know.
It populated on the stream, but it's not populating in my Foundry, which makes things really difficult. All right, with the 14, this is a very, very well-known god at this point. You are currently staring at the face of what can only be described as Heliod.
Okay. Do I know anything about him?
That would be why I lost connection with the server.
F.
I was trying to change something, and it's like, nope, not doing it. It's all Dev's fault, right, Dev? It's 100%.
Definitely my fault.
Definitely can't be my fault. It definitely has to be.
It's definitely not Spectrum.
You do understand that Heliod is actually basically to be known as all things good. Basically the god of light, as it were. That is with your 14. You don't know the specifics, but you do know that he is generally used as the god of what's good in life.
Okay.
He's gonna look down at you with a smile. I can help you. I can save them.
What's going on? Where am I?
I've stopped the world as you know it. You're safe here, but you can't stay. I can give you the power to save them. In fact, I will save them myself. But I do need something from you.
Yeah, anything.
The world has changed as you know it. Creatures have started to appear in the realms that have never appeared before. And unfortunately, I am unable to see parts of the world as I used to. I need eyes into the world.
Okay.
Let me help you to understand. I have a spirit that needs a body. Now, I'm not telling you to give your body up. But what I am telling you is you will need to share that body. And in return, I can save the children and I can save Sanson. Now, don't take this lightly, as it is a large decision.
I mean, I don't have any other way.
Will you be my eyes?
Yeah, I'll do it.
And with that, you're actually going to feel a surge of power almost at your fingertips. Go ahead and describe to me changes in your body as you have gone from being, well, human to absorbing a spirit of almost pure power into your own body. Go ahead and describe to me what changes you would see.
Physical changes, honestly, there's not a lot of difference. There's a handful of streaks of white hair that come through. The eyes get a little bit more pale. Just striking blue eyes. But physically, there isn't a whole lot of difference. Still appears very human, just a little bit distant in the gaze, I guess.
Come on, give it to me now. Of course, it doesn't want to. Why would things work when I needed them to? The problem is they're trying to run this kind of thing through this. I'm sorry. As the world itself starts to fade back into existence, you almost have to shield your eyes, as there is a rather, Jesus Christ. I had this set up and apparently it deleted it when I had to refresh. Activate.
Oh.
As a large burst of light lights up the entire area around you, what fog there used to be almost evaporates out of existence. Got so many tokens here. There. The mists that were chasing you just instantly almost burn out of existence as this light has just blazed everything around you. Off in the distance, you can see Myrnie slow as there's this bright light that has just started shining behind her. Bo takes a deep breath. Sanzin, you also will take a breath. However, you've died and come back. I can only imagine the feelings that you have felt, and being into the underworld for any length of time must have felt like ages. You've come back in a fractured state. What changes do you? Are there any physical changes to you, as it were?
As Sanzin kind of stands up, like his vision focuses back up. He kind of like looks at himself, looks at his surroundings. His skin's very like taut against his hands as he kind of like rubs his hands together, and the flesh and what little muscle mass that's left of them just starts kind of peeling away. And he's just kind of standing there in shock. I guess would be the easiest way to explain it. But he just feels cold.
Right.
And he'll just kind of look towards Meyer and all the kids in kind of confusion, just kind of like staring at them with his head slightly tilted to the side.
All right. With that, Meyer, things are feeling a little different for you. But one thing you can almost feel in your soul at this point is a need to go west. It's almost like something's drawing you there. It's not forced, but for some reason you just feel drawn to the west.
Okay. We're gonna stifle that feeling a little bit. We're gonna call to Myrnie. I had to hover over her name. Check on Bo, like, the fog has suddenly disappeared, so she's just, her first priority is what? Oh, am I good? Did I cut out? Oh, okay. Rude. Her first priority is make sure that everybody is okay. Kids and Sanson.
Bo, as it were, is not saying a whole lot. He's just gasping for air. Kind of giving coughing a little bit. Lily is still grasped on tightly. She's got her face nuzzled into your leg. She's trying not to look around. She's trying not to see. Myrnie is just, she's standing there in shock and daze. As the fog itself has actually lifted, you are now able to see much more clearly.
Can see clearly.
Can see clearly now. The fog is gone.
Is Myers
And DMCA. Sorry, what?
is Myers kind of checking on the kids? Like Sanson starts more like I'm not frivolously. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but like he starts scratching like at his hands and his arms, and he kind of like looks around and sees the door that's open, and just bolts inside.
I guess I'm also going to, gather the kids and hurry them all inside. Because that totally kept them safe last time.
As Myrnie starts to come closer to you, kind of dazed and confused about what just... What happened?
I don't know, but we need to get back inside.
All right, they will follow you. Myrnie will actually help Bo up.
And
They will follow.
As you guys like make your way into the house, you can hear like in the washroom just kind of like clamoring and clattering.
Sanson?
No,
Sanson?
no response.
Sanson, are you okay?
I would say no. What have you done to me? What's happened?
What do you mean? What's going on? And she'll like likely fail to detach Lily and make her way into the washroom area.
If you want, at this point, things have calmed down a little bit. If you want to pry Lily off, Murney will be able to take Lily.
Okay.
Things have started to settle down. So if you want to leave them outside or bring them in,
No, bring them
choice.
inside and then tell them to stay together.
Gotcha.
And then
I'm going to move you just a little bit farther back there, just so that I can move them in
move
here.
me where I
Yep.
need to be.
Yep. There you go. We'll just say the washroom's somewhere
Somewhere
back
around
here.
there.
Somewhere back here. I don't have the inside of the house laid out.
The door's like not closed, it's just like a crack open. But you could just kind of hear like a sobbing, soft sobbing coming from inside.
We are going to slowly push the door open.
As you do, you can just see a bunch of like skin and muscle tissue sloughed like around the washroom.
Oh no.
Samson's like entire face is mostly skeletal. Empty eye sockets. And as the head kind of like turns around to you, he has the knife that's in his hand and he just points it at you. I don't know who the hell you are, what the hell you've done to me. Stand back.
Sanson, tell me what's going on.
I don't rightly know. Are you a witch? What have you done to me?
I didn't do anything. Please just put the knife down. Come back in the living room. We can talk about this. We can try to figure out what's going on.
You can hear like the handle of the knife rattling against the bones in his hand and his like arms kind of shaking. The knife drops, clatters to the ground. He just kind of like drops to his knees. I don't know why you've put this curse on my orphanage.
What? I didn't put any curse. I didn't put any curse on the orphanage. What are you talking about?
He just kind of like looks up, tilting his head at you, looking through empty eye sockets. In the bedroom, there are some scarves. The least you could do is grab them for me. I don't want the children to see this.
Yep, she will gather herself a little bit and go grab scarves and like a shirt, whatever. Whatever is readily available. Bring it to him.
He like takes the scarves, wraps up his face, wraps up his hands, kind of like pulls his hood up. And will slowly follow you, kind of like wherever you're going.
Yeah, she'll go back out to the kids to make sure they're okay. She's got a little bit of shock.
You know what? Give me a stealth check, as it were. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with stealth check. Only to see just how much you've actually been able to cover up, as it were.
Could I
Or
offer you a deception instead?
yeah, no, I'm okay with deception as well. I will take deception as well.
Excellent.
Yep.
Can I offer you a deception in these trying times?
Nope.
Scarves are just falling off.
All right, we're gonna.
Time to traumatize the children.
Oh,
Lily does not see.
They
she's
get
got
it.
her face buried.
They get it from us. Roll low on perception.
Murney will. And Bo will not.
I think perception is just cursed.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
So,
Oh,
Murney,
no, it's fine.
you see fear in her eyes as you come walking out, as she sees that let's just say that you've missed a spot. As
Fair enough.
You have not been able to adjust one side of your face enough to be able to cover it in full.
Mm-hmm.
As you're walking out, she catches a glimpse and proceeds to pull Lily closer towards her, turning her head away from you and stepping into Bo's line of sight.
Oh. I hate when the oldest has to take parental positions. Are you three okay?
Murney's still just having trouble figuring out what exactly is going on. We're all right. Lily's a little shaken up, and Bo's Bo's got a sore throat. Maybe he'll slow in his eating. She tries to bring a little bit of levity to the situation.
Look, I don't know what's going on, but we I don't know, need to go pack our things and go into town in the morning. It's not safe here.
And that is actually where we will end this backstory session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you have packed up, or as you were packing up, Murney is aware that something has happened. The kids still can't figure it out. Give me one last perception check from
Jesus
both of you.
Christ.
This is going to be a high DC.
There's a 10.
11. What about you, Sanson?
8.
All
We
right.
don't see shit.
Nada. It was going to be a rather high DC. So, but with that, we're going to draw an end. Meyer, you're being pulled to the west. You don't necessarily have a specific image in mind, you don't a specific place in mind, but it's almost like a compass. It's trying to lead you somewhere. Now, it's not forceful in any way, so you're still able to go or do what you want. It's just you feel the urge, as it were, to go west.
Okay.
Now, the one last question that I have is the DM to be able to better prepare. Will the children travel with you, or what do you plan on doing with the children?
We don't exactly have anywhere to leave them.
I would probably suggest, since Sanson's not quite in his full faculties, but he remembers some things here and there, would suggest leaving them with Old Man Bo.
Bo would probably take them. Knowing what you know about Bo would probably take them. He's relatively good with kids. He would probably spend more time at the orphanage if he wasn't going back and forth between town, and people would kind of wonder what would happen if he disappeared for a period of time. But for the most part, that's, but would accept them if that's what you decide to do.
Yeah, I'm sure if we explain the situation, it would probably be a better choice.
All right. That's just for me, so that I can better prepare for
Yep.
when we.
Unless any of the kids are attached at the hip, yeah, we'll leave them where they're safer.
Okay.
Sans would essentially explain to Bo and the kids when Meyer isn't around that he has to follow this witch to figure out how to undo whatever she did to him.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys playing. For those of you who are still around, I appreciate you for coming in and watching. Hopefully, I didn't want to make this combat heavy by any means, so I wanted to give you guys some rolls and whatnot, even if perceptions were just low all night. It's the fog and the rain. Look, all right, it's the fog and
Yeah, we'll blame the fog and the rain.
we'll blame the fog and the rain.
Low visibility, it's fine.
But hopefully, you guys had some fun rolling some dice and whatnot, and you are currently up to date, which means that we will pick back up with you guys and RJ on the 14th. For anyone else on the 7th, actually, we will be playing Nerdic's character backstory. His backstory will definitely be a little bit more different. He's got some things, some trials to go through. So if we do not finish on the 7th, I will try to take any opportunity he allows for me to try to get that done before the 14th, so that we can definitely pick back up and start a true campaign all together on the 14th.
Woo!
So hopefully you guys had fun. I appreciate you coming out and playing. You know, had some technical difficulties, as it were, but I think all
Not
in
too
all
bad.
it was a good session. I appreciate your guys' RP for sure.
Had lots of fun. Thank you for running.
All right, Dev, you still around? All right, boss,
Yep.
take it away.
All right, later, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.